Hey cruise addicts, so welcome along to my review of MSC World Europa. Just to make you aware, I got off the ship at 3 a.m. Saturday morning and flew back, got home yesterday at 3 p.m. UK time. So I'm a little bit jet lagged, a little bit wired, so if I trip over my words a little bit more than usual, then please forgive me. So let's jump straight in with my review of the ship and starting with the bad. So number one is muster. So unlike some lines that have started to move back to face muster, MSC have stuck with the virtual muster. So you are asked to watch a video in your room, then dial an extension to confirm that you've watched it. You then go to your muster station, show your card, and that's it, you're done. Really simple, right? Wrong. So in my case, I watched the video, great, tried to call the extension number, no dial tone on the phone. Tried it a second time, still nothing. Tried it on hands-free and it seemed to work, but then I got an Italian voice back. I'm not fluent in Italian at all, so I had no clue what it was saying. I then attempted a call to guest services and got cut off. So I had no choice then but to go to my muster station and report it to them. They then checked my card and said, yeah, absolutely fine. And I said, well, even though I've had the issues trying to get through on the phone, yeah, absolutely, we'll mark you as done. Now they didn't scan my card, so I found that a little bit unusual, but I thought, okay, well, they've told me it's done, I'll get on with my day. Fast forward to the next morning, I wake up to a letter from my room attendant to say that I haven't attended muster and I need to do this, that and the other to get it sorted. Well, this sent me into complete flap and a panic because I was going to be getting off the ship in just over an hour. So I traipsed down to guest services to explain the situation to them and to report the problem with my phone and it being Italian and not having a dial tone and la 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 la. And after quite a long time, they've got it sorted. They marked me down as in attendance for muster, so I could forget about that. So that leads us on nicely, or not nicely, to number two, which is the staff. Now, it's important to say that I found some of the staff members really friendly and helpful. My room attendant, for one, could not do enough for me. He was superb. As were the people in the coffee emporium. They were just the friendliest, loveliest bunch. They made me feel like royalty every time I came in, and I used it twice daily. They were just superb. However, there were some members of staff that were just very dismissive, didn't really seem interested in what you've got to say, or telling you what you want to hear rather than the truth, which is really frustrating when you want to find something out. I will use the next three examples for you so that you can see what I'm talking about. So, following my disaster that was the muster, I got off the ship so stressed and in such a flap that I completely forgot my medication. So I needed to get back on the ship and then back to the coach in the space of 15 minutes. Now, ordinarily that would have been fine, but then I hit queues to get back off the ship when I tried to come off the second time. I spoke to 3 different staff members and they said, don't worry, it's nothing to worry about. We will absolutely not let the bus go without you. One of them called through and texted through and said everything is absolutely fine. They've spoken to the tour organiser and the bus won't leave without me. Now you can guess what happened next, can't you? Yes, the bus left without me. I got there at 9:02 and the bus had already left. I was so not impressed. Had I just been late for any reason, I absolutely would take full responsibility for it. The fact that I was late because they told me that I missed muster when I didn't, and the chain of events that led up to that, I felt really aggrieved. On to example number 2 of the staff then. So my shore excursion was rearranged for the afternoon. Luckily there were shore excursion staff on the ground that were able to sort that for me. And they said that I would just need to pay the difference between the old tour and the new tour. I wasn't really happy with that, but I really wanted to get on the tour. So at that moment, I think I would have agreed to just about anything because I really wanted to see Abu Dhabi. So that was then sorted, and I went to the shore excursions desk to speak to them about it later on, and they agreed that due to the circumstances surrounding why I missed the bus, they would waive the charge. I waited for 2 days and it was still showing, so I went back to the shore excursions desk again. This time I went to the one on deck 8 rather than deck 6, explained the situation, and there was quite the heavy debate about whether I was in the wrong or whether I was right, and I was not taking no for an answer. You made the mistake, you made me miss muster, you made me miss the bus, you sort it out, and they did in the end agree to waive the charge. Had there not been any problem whatsoever with the muster, then there wouldn't have been any problems for me to run late whatsoever. So finally they got it sorted. On to then the bars. Oh. Now, this is not a problem just faced by MSC at the moment. This is faced by lots, if not all, of the cruise lines. Due to the issues faced with COVID and then having to lay off a lot of staff, they've all struggled to employ staff again as the cruise restarted. And unfortunately, they're still not there yet. Well, certainly MSC aren't. There were some really, really frustratingly long waits at the bars. So not great. Also, like a lot of the cruise lines, they've moved to QR codes instead of physical menus. However, the difference is on other cruise lines is if you ask for a paper copy, one is available. With the exception of the gin project, there wasn't a paper menu to be had in any of the bars because I asked. And it's really difficult when you're trying to do a blog and a vlog that you want to show what's available. You cannot do screenshots of the phone because of security measures built into the app. So it just made things really difficult. And I stuck to gin and tonics or other stuff that I could see behind the bar rather than venturing in to try the cocktails that were on the menus because it was just too difficult to find anything. And lastly then, on my list of the bad, being harassed for drinks and dining packages. I have bought both the Premium Plus drink package, the top drink package, and the Finest 4 dining package, so 4 restaurants. However, I was approached if I wanted to buy them. Now, if it was once or twice, it'll be absolutely fine. When it got to 5 times, I was really losing my patience. After having not slept very well the night before on an overnight flight into Dubai, I really did not want to be pestered as much as I was. And in the end, at the end of the day, I was asked no fewer than 12 times if I wanted a drinks package or a dining package. So my word of advice to you is if you see anybody coming towards you with an apron on, a butcher's apron, that's the dining package people. If you see somebody coming towards you in a black waistcoat, that's the drinks package people. I suggest you run the opposite direction. I'm joking, of course, but it did make me feel that way. It just got too much. They need to have a system where it all links up. And as a familiar theme, the staff need to talk to each other. So before we move on to the good stuff then, and there is plenty of it, believe me, just to make you aware, there is coming soon a dining guide, a fun pass guide, a dry and wet slide guide, a ship tour, and lots of other things coming up. So if you haven't already, why not hit that subscribe button and be sure to click that bell so you're notified when new episodes drop. And if you've enjoyed it, then please do hit that like button because it really will help me grow the channel. So without further ado then, let's kick off and do the good stuff. So the first item then on the good list is the World Theatre and Panorama Lounge shows. Oh my God. The cast in the World Theatre and also in the Panorama Lounge they're just absolutely fantastic. It's been a bit hit and miss in the past, but boy did they change that with this ship. So a caveat to that though, there was a terrible magician in the World Theatre and I've never seen so many people leave a show in my life. And I understand why though. I didn't leave personally, but a hell of a lot do. But yeah, the main cast are absolutely superb. So in particular, Amelie was just the standout show of the whole cruise. It was absolutely incredible. I lost count of the amount of times my jaw was hitting the floor. So if you get a chance to see it, then please do. Absolutely. If you're selling on Europa, you have to see that show. Cadmo, the Landwalker, and A Night on Broadway were also really, really good. On then to specialty dining. Wow, where to start? Chef's Garden Kitchen. What a venue. Brand new to MSC, this place has a Michelin-starred chef and menu. They have fridges in the back of the restaurant where they grow their own micro herbs, which are included in both the starters, the mains and the desserts that you'll eat. And they have an open kitchen so you can see what's going on whilst you're dining. Really attentive staff and knowledgeable. Absolutely superb food. I cannot recommend this place enough. Moving on then to Butcher's Cut. Now I've been here before because it's on Virtuosa and Divina amongst lots of others. It is pretty much an MSC staple. I deliberately went with something that I've not had in Butcher's Cut before, and although the food was great, I wouldn't say it was fantastic. Maybe that's because I was spoilt from the night before in Chef's Garden Kitchen, I don't know, but it just wasn't the top notch that I remember it from the past. I suspect it probably is because I was spoilt the night before. Up next then, it was teppanyaki, Kato teppanyaki. If you have been to a teppanyaki restaurant before, then you'll know that the preparation and the cooking of the food is just as much as the eating. It really is a performance as well as a dinner. And I have to say that Kato teppanyaki on World Europa was probably a step above that of teppanyaki on NCL. It was that good. Really great performance, really entertaining chef, really delicious food. I put this at second place, above Butcher's Cut, slightly below Chef's Garden Kitchen. But oh my God, pretty incredible stuff. Lovely crowd, we really enjoyed it. And all of the tables and the chefs joined in when they were singing their songs. So one would start off, we would all join in, and vice versa. Yeah, really, really good night in there. And then lastly, Hola, Cantina, and tacos. If you like Mexican, you're sure to like this place. I had so much great food. In fact, after 4 dishes, I had to get them to stop bringing the food because I couldn't eat anymore and I needed to order dessert. Okay, that was a lie. I could eat dessert, I just couldn't eat any more of the mains. So they brought out my 2 desserts. Yes, shock horror, I had 2 desserts and they were also delicious as well. The ice cream was great. The tres leches was just fantastic. It must have been so bad for me, but it tasted oh so good. The only slight downside was that the tacos, when they came out, weren't piping hot, but they did bring out the first 3 dishes all together. So in between me eating the first 2 courses and doing pieces to camera, it quite easily could have gone cold because of that. So I won't really dock them any points on that. What I do dock them points for is them being out of stock and having things that were on the menu that they didn't have. For example, I wanted the coffee and the coconut ice cream. They didn't have that, so I had to go with the strawberry and the chocolate. Delicious as it was, it just wasn't my first choice. I also wanted to have dulce de leche as my other dessert, but they didn't have that, which is why I went with the tres leches. I'm kind of glad I did though, because it was absolutely delicious, and I do wonder now if the other one would have lived up to it. So there was only one restaurant that I didn't do of the specialty restaurants, if you discount Kato Sushi, because although it's part of the Kato brand with teppanyaki and sushi, I wouldn't really class it as a specialty restaurant or specialty restaurant because you sit at a counter and eat the sushi. I count a specialty restaurant as somewhere you go in and dine properly. So the only restaurant I didn't do, which was a fine dining sit-down experience, was Pescaderia, the fish market on board. Only because it wasn't included in a Finest 4 dining package. You couldn't dine there, so you would have to pay full price for it. And after having spent £100 on the dining package that I had, I wasn't willing to pay any more. Up next then on the good list is the beautiful ship. Oh my, what can I tell you about this ship? She is just absolutely beautifully visually stunning. It is just incredible. So from the main pool deck with the large pool, like really large pool with a divided section across the middle of it, to the solarium, the indoor pool area, absolutely amazing. On the World Galleria on deck 6, 7 and 8 to the World Promenade on deck 8. You've got the light up staircases and a chandelier in the World Galleria. And then on the World Promenade, you've got the light up palm trees, as they're affectionately known. You've got Venom Drop at the Spiral and the incredible Y-shaped aft. It is just spectacular. And then you've got the World Theatre at the forward of deck 7. You've got Panorama Lounge at the aft of deck 7, both visually stunning. Like many MSC ships before, World Europa has the wow factor. Now, just a word of warning, if you're expecting the Swarovski crystal staircases, then you need to be staying in the yacht club for this one. They aren't on all the other decks that they are on, the likes of Divina and Virtuosa. You have to be staying in yacht club if you want to see the Swarovski crystals. Now, I was a little bit disappointed when I found this before I got on board the ship, but it didn't take away from my experience whatsoever. There are far too many wow moments to ever focus on just a staircase made of crystals. It is just superb. And then next on my list then is the light show on the aft of deck 8 on the World Promenade. Now, I was a little dubious about this because I'd seen very short clips of the shows before I boarded the ship, and I thought, yeah, it's a bit gimmicky. Oh my god, they are fantastic. So you have 2 shows a night, normally it's 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And the music and the show is different each time they play it. Now, on Virtuosa, they had the shows on the screens, and I think there were about 6 of them, so they alternated throughout the cruise. So I suspect there isn't an unlimited number of light shows, but the 3 times I saw it, they were different. So, yeah, different music, and then because the music's different, the lights move to the music, so the show is different each time you see it. Absolutely superb. And my top tip, sit or stand at the very, very aft of the ship, lean up against the railings and watch it facing forward. So you get the palm trees at the very aft of the ship. There are palm trees in the middle of the World Promenade, and then there are palm trees at the front of the World Promenade. So if you stand right at the back, you get the full show. Just incredible. You have to see it if you're on the ship. I can't imagine you wouldn't see it, but yeah, just my tip, just go and see it. It's just quite something. And then lastly, Coffee Emporium. This was my ultimate favorite place on the ship. The incredible staff have a lot to do with that, and my god, they were so attentive, so friendly. They were just fantastic. They made it for me. But also the fun of it all, the sheer choice of hot and cold beverages. You have got domes where you have got the coffee beans in them, and underneath those domes are items that the coffee has hints of. So there's a squeezy thing on the side, like the thing you squeeze for a horn, hence that noise. And then that leads up to a funnel where if you squeeze it, you can smell the scent. Just incredible. The whole experience of a coffee shop is just, yeah, my whole experience of a coffee shop has just been turned on its head. It was just quite incredible. I never thought I would say that I'd miss a coffee shop, and if somebody had told me that a week ago, you'll get off that ship and you'll be missing that coffee shop, I'd call them absolutely crazy. But here we are. Just another bit of useful information, at least I hope it is. If you've got the premium drinks package, the premium plus drinks package, then you can also use that in the Coffee Emporium. Like it does in all the bars, it will cover you up to €13 per drink. There you go. Okay, so that is my review of this cruise. In summary, although I could have screened so many times within the first 24 to 36 hours on board, the good quickly outweighed the bad. The beautiful ship, the great dining experience, the entertainment, the stunning sights of the ship, and not forgetting the fabulous staff in Coffee Emporium, they all made for a truly unforgettable experience. So if you can see past the bad stuff, then you're in for a real treat on board MSC World Europa if you're going. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it would really help me and the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with a new video really soon. Take care, guys. Bye.